Hello everyone, we're going to be looking at Stephen Smith today. It is a complicated chart, and I know that there are some famous suspects involved. Alex Murdaugh, Buster Murdaugh, Paul Murdaugh are all kind of mentioned as would-be possible suspects in Stephen Smith's horrible, violent end. I'm going to be honest with you, I'm not sure if I even see them on these charts. There's a lot of Mars energy all throughout Stephen Smith's chart. Aries, Mars is all playing a role in his death. Now, we look at the planets on a crime chart as people. They have personalities, and they represent certain people in our victim's life before they pass. Now, on your natal chart too, yes, certain planets represent people on your natal chart too, especially in the 7th house. It can be a husband or a wife, something like that. But on a crime chart, we look at the planets a little bit differently. So Mars is repetitive all over Stephen's chart. And the best way that I can describe to you about Mars is that it's a crime of passion. There can be some sexual energy to it as well. It's usually aggression and anger. And it is ruled by the ram. So usually we know that we're going to have some sort of head injury because of the way that the ram behaves. This is why when we see Mars on a crime chart, we can usually guess that our victim is going to have severe trauma to the face, and usually it's above the left eyebrow, above the forehead, the cranium, the skull. And it does rule guns. It rules knives too, and rage and anger, and blood loss to the head. That's what Mars means, our internal bleeding of the brain. So let's take a look at his crime chart. This is just a quick peek. This is not a deep dive. I don't have Alex Murdaugh's natal chart, so this is just a quick peek. And let's remember that everyone is innocent until proven guilty in a court of law. This is just astrology. But you can see in this picture here that Mars is involved in Stephen's death, and it shows up repeatedly on the chart. The ancients feared Mars because we knew it was going to be violent and bloody, and that our victim was going to suffer trauma to the head somehow. So let's get into the chart and see what we can figure out about Stephen Smith. Hello everyone, it's Junie checking back in with you. We're going to take a look at Stephen Smith's charts. This is his crime chart, not a natal chart. I have to remind you guys that this is for entertainment purposes only. It's not to be taken as fact. This is just astrology. And in astrology, like I explained earlier in the opening statement, that planets represent people in our victim's life right before they passed away. So I'm not sure what time the 911 call came in, but I feel like at 7 p.m., this is the closest chart that I have, because I feel that at 7 p.m. for Stephen Smith, there's a phone call out, or someone reaches out to Jupiter, which is the police, regarding a body, because Saturn represents a skeleton, a body, someone's physical remains, okay? So I feel at 7 o'clock, that's probably when someone reached out. It may have been a female. I don't even know. Okay, like I said, this is just a brief look at Stephen Smith's charts, okay? So I feel at 7 p.m., a female may have called, or a couple may have called, thinking it's a female, called the police regarding a body found. So Capricorn rules the 1st house. The AC line on a crime chart rules our victim, and the 1st house rules our victim. Even on your natal chart, the 1st house, it's important to know your rising sign. Your AC line tells you what you're going to look like. especially what you're going to look like. So in crime, we look at the first house to represent our victim, where our victim is, and what our victim is going to look like. So off the bat, it tells me that our victim is sitting in Capricorn. Capricorn is cold and dry, represents a physical body, okay? It also rules stones, rocks, areas that aren't near, water. So it's letting me know that he's on a hard surface. Capricorn rules concrete. So it's also letting me know that there's someone that's deceased, because Pluto rules death, okay? That little P and L is the man that discovered Pluto. It's his initials, P and L, form the letter P. That's how you know we have a dead body. Or it's a person that it's not a good situation for Pluto to be there, okay? It can represent a few things. It doesn't just always mean a dead body, but Capricorn, Pluto in the first house, it's not good, okay? He's not alive. So the seventh house rules your open enemy, okay? Anyone who's not us, and what attracts the killer to the victim. So we have the 24th degree. The 24th degree rules Pisces. So there, off the bat, we know that there's either drugs, lies, deceit, an illusion of some sort. The things that are happening are this crime scene is not what it seems to be, possibly, okay? Now remember, everyone is innocent in a court of law until proven otherwise. I'm just going over the basics of this astrology. It can mean a lot of things. So I kind of explained earlier the importance of Mars when it shows up on crime charts. Mars in the 7th house, if we look at Kirsty McIntosh's book, remember, I look at 3 books when I do crime charts. There's 3 books I have out at all times. But she's kind of the book that I pull the most. So Mars represents passion, a crime of passion. It can also represent car accidents. It rules weapons. It rules brothers. It rules male. Okay? Doesn't always have to be male, but it rules rage. It can rule fire. Okay? So when it's in the house of Cancer, it's rage and emotions. We have the sun, and we have the sun sitting in Cancer. So that can mean a family man, someone that's older than 28 years old, older than 29, older than 30. A family man, someone that is very emotional. There's some emotional ties connected to this. And we also have Mercury. I would not consider Mars necessarily a person, but it could be a person. It could represent a person. So, or that Stephen had a fight with someone, an older man, an emotional argument with someone, because the sun is conjunct Mars in Cancer. So we definitely have an older male. And I'd really like to know who Stephen was involved with. I mean, was this man a father? I'm curious. We also have Mercury show up, which can mean communication, but it can also mean to younger people involved. The planets would look at these people as best friends or siblings. Mercury rules siblings. Also rules the internet, text messages, communication between our victim, because remember, our victim is being ruled by Capricorn is Saturn. And he's sitting in Scorpio. So that's some shady shit going on there with the sun conjunct Mars in the transits, okay? Very interesting. So we have an older gentleman that's got a secret, and is emotional and angry at Stephen Smith. Now, if we look down here, I like to look at this little box. The C stands for cardinal signs, the F stands for fixed, and the M stands for mutable signs. So, and the F is fire, air, earth, and water. So, you know, when we're looking for bodies, I look at this too. If somebody's missing, you know, if this was all blue, I'd say, holy shit, they're in water. If it was all red across the top, I'd say they probably got burned, okay? Or that this was a crime of anger and passion. So right off the bat, Stephen has a lot of fire and water in his signs. And look at the planets that are represented by this. So it's just seems to me to be very angry and emotional. That it might be passion involved too. I mean, it's just something to consider. So remember, none of this is supposed to be considered fact. This is just another way of looking at crime using the planets. That's all. So we have Saturn was in retrograde. Neptune was in retrograde. Pluto was in retrograde. I definitely see secrets involved in this. I mean, the 24th degree is ruled by Neptune, first of all, ruled by Pisces. So that's some type of an illusion off the bat that maybe the crime scene that you came upon is not what it seems, right? Like, if we look at Kirsty's book, for Saturn to show up in the, what house is that? The 11th house. 11th house, I believe, rules friends, but let me double check it. Yeah, so the 11th house rules friends and friendships. Sorry, my husband's coming back with the groceries. Friendship of hope, trust, confidence, the praise or dispraise of anyone, the fidelity or falseness of friends. So fake friends, favorites. Oh, look at that, guys. Was Stephen's body found near a yellow vehicle? Yes, it was. Mercury rules vehicles too. And Mercury is playing a role here. It also rules the legs and ankles. And look at that. Is astrology amazing? It's letting us know it's going to be a bright yellow too. A saffron or a yellow. So that's like, boom, like vibrant yellow. And I believe his car was like a really bright yellow. That's amazing. And I believe Stephen Smith was an Aquarius too. So again, you can find all this in Kirsty's book. He was found in the middle of the road too, ruled by Capricorn, so that kind of makes sense. Okay, back to Stephen Smith. So I wanted to look up some pictures of Cancer men to give you, well, we know that the astrology is showing with Stephen Smith that if it is a actual murder, that we're dealing with a man that shows up as the sun. So then we know that we have an older man that is older than 28, 29, 30, older than 30 years old. So we have an older man, and this is what, and he's showing up as in Cancer. So these are some Cancer men. Tom Cruise is a Cancer. He's actually the day of my birthday. Him and I share the same birthday. I'm a Cancer too. Harrison Ford is a Cancer. Tom Hanks is a Cancer. So I believe that there is an older man involved in that was sexually involved with Stephen Smith. And he would have been older than 30. So, you know, and he could have been a family man too. So if a family man that has a lot to lose, if, you know, finding out that he's gay, something along those lines. So, you know, we want to think of these actors when they were younger, you know, in their 30s, in their 40s. Okay. So I'm trying to give you a description. Now, from the Mercury showing up in his chart, it is interesting because it can mean that more than one person is involved in Stephen Smith's death. Because there's the older man in Cancer. Oh, I just lost my pen. And it just got really cold in here, so I'm going to go get a blanket. Okay, so there's a couple of characteristics about our killer. I mean, if we're dealing with a killing, because I'll be honest with you, this Aries and Aquarius in the 4th house, it can also mean an accident. Or that this female is calling because she believes that it's a hit and run or an accident, right? I mean, but to me, I feel like it's probably not an accident. That's just my own personal opinion. Sorry, I had to hit pause and come back because I had to go help with the groceries. So now I'm coming back. The thing about our killer with Mercury, so that can represent two people, and the planets can look at this killer, these people involved, or the people that know something, okay, as that the planets are lumping them together because they're so close. So it could be two people. And remember, Mercury is the twins. It rules Gemini and Virgo. Virgo and Gemini share Mercury together, but they share this planet very differently. Remember, Mercury is all about, Virgo is all about input, and Gemini is all about output. So they use the planet very differently, but they share the same planet. So Mercury isn't in retrograde, but still, we could have a killer that's got a stuttering problem. They could have allergies. They could be severe enough that, you know, this is a person that might have needed allergy shots in the past or something like that. They could stutter. They could have a speech impediment or a lisp. They could have a broken nose. Actually, here. Let me show you in Christy McIntosh's book too, what she says about. Well, she says it's injuries, but it's not just injuries, because right now I'm trying to figure out, give you guys a description of what Stephen Smith's killer characteristics could be. Okay, so this is what it can mean on a crime chart. All right, remember this isn't a natal chart, so So brain injury, illness to the mind, someone who stutters or stammers, or speaks very fast, nasal and sinus problems, remember to note these things, because if you were looking for a suspect, in the description stated he had a crooked nose, a broken nose, or that he stuttered. So if the other two people involved, if one of them has a stuttering problem, even Virgo rules the stomach, so they could have like lower intestine, like, you know, problems with their stomach, always have a nervous, upset stomach. That's another thing to consider. This all complies into the profile, and when you're getting to the fine details of a suspect, these are the things important. Assimilation of food is represented by this 2, namely Virgo, especially Mercury and Virgo. So Mercury and Virgo also shows someone that's got an upset stomach. Something with the arms, shoulders, muscles, and bones, and these, the lungs, including a trachea and bronchi. So this could be someone that's got asthma, allergies, something like that. An upset nervous stomach. And may have issues with eating food. Even food allergies, something along those lines, okay? So I gave you a description of what an older man could look like, possibly the man involved in that was having a relationship with Stephen. I'd be interested to know if he looks like any of those pictures that we just looked at. For Cancer men. Oh, I didn't know Patrick Swayze was a Cancer. Robin Williams. Clint Eastwood. So think of these guys, you know, in their 30s and 40s. So that's what our killer could look like. And I'm not really getting a feeling of Alex Murdaugh. That kind of looks like Alex Murdaugh. Him and I share the same birthday, July 16th. Elon Musk is a Gemini. And that's funny because he's with Twitter. That's so crazy. So Tom Cruise is a Gemini. So if the man that he was involved with looks like any of these guys, I mean, it's something to consider, guys. I mean, if we're thinking about suspects, and if the man that he was having an emotional relationship with, if that man looks like any of these people here, it is something to consider. That he's a prime suspect. And there might be more than one person involved. This also is letting us know that they were angry. Because Mars doesn't necessarily mean that it's a person. It can just be giving us a description of the mindset of the killer. And, you know, that's, if we look down here, again, you know, this is a lot of anger and a lot of emotions. And someone wasn't thinking. Someone wasn't thinking at all. It was just passion and emotions. So again, you know, this isn't a deep dive. This is just a quick little peek. I know it's, I don't have comparison charts to do because I don't have Paul Murdaugh's natal chart. I don't have Alex Murdaugh's natal chart, because I'd like to put everybody's natal chart over top of when Stephen was found, and see if they show up near the AC line or if anything looks suspicious. So this is just a little sneak peek, okay? But I would say that this is a secret. I would say probably more than one person knows about it. I feel 7 o'clock is the closest to a 911 call because we do have a female reaching out to Jupiter, calling about a dead body. Pluto, you know, the fact that Stephen is in Scorpio, it's shady. There's some dark energy connected to his death. Now, the 4th house with Uranus and Mars, because Aries rules Mars, it can mean an accident or that it's set up to look like an accident. And it is pretty amazing that in the 11th house, it rules the color yellow, and he was found in yellow with a yellow car. His body was found next to a yellow car. So, I mean, if you think about that with astrology, why wouldn't all the other stuff match up, right? Bright yellow, even. See? The 11th house rules the color yellow. And this is somebody that he knew. Someone in his life, for sure, guys. I'm not feeling like this is a car accident. I mean, this can be an explosion, but that also can be an explosion of rage, and that's a secret. Something is hidden. Something's covered up. So I would definitely also look at this boy's property with communication. So to me, I look at property like a tablet or a computer or a cell phone, guys. Something on either the killer's property, on this man, this older man that's emotional, that might be a family man that's older, who was angry. Either Stephen's property or this man's property has some type of communication that's a secret. So whatever communication, something at somebody's property is a secret. And it's some type of electrical device. So it could be like a cell phone, a computer, and it's a secret. Something is hidden here. And see how everybody connects over to Neptune? See all these lines down here to Neptune? Sorry, I shake a lot, guys. I have a lot of nerve damage. I've had a lot of car accidents. So, you know, to me, this is... all lines are leading to Neptune in Pisces. So, that's a secret love affair. Yeah. Communication. I feel like there is an electronic device that has something secret on it. I wonder if the police have it. Jupiter there. So again, everybody mentioned in this video is innocent until proven otherwise. This is not fact. This is just astrology. It just gives a little bit of an insight to what the planets are saying about, you know, if it's a car accident. I don't feel like it's a car accident. I really don't. I feel like there's a secret. And I think we need to look at the people that he was emotionally involved with, the older man in his life. Yeah. So in the 24th degree, again, so 0 degree is like, on a natal chart, this 0 degree, it's kind of positive because it's like a fresh start, a new beginning. But if we're looking at a crime chart and we're looking at a crime of passion, the 0 degree is like, somebody ended something or a breakup or something, you know, like a fresh start. Let's see if we can look up the 16 degree of the 16th degree? Cancer. So 24th degree. This is how I do it, guys. So I research a lot. Like, I don't just go off the books and stuff. I actually go on the internet and try to look at stuff for you, too. So, also, Mercury rules back roads, like a secluded back road. 1-lane roads, like tiny 2-lane roads. Zero degree. Another critical degree. What's it say up here? Marks the beginning of new cycles starting all over with relation, planetary energies, meaning it's a critical degree. So Mercury is, maybe somebody broke up with somebody online. It was like a text message of some sort, and it's like ending this relationship. That green line goes right over to his body, too. Goes right over to Stephen. Wow. Or this could be describing this male here. Everything about this male. If this male that he was having a relationship with happens to look like any of these men, and he stutters, and he has an eating disorder or some upset stomach, then he's your suspect, and he's your guy. I mean, I know, I think Alex Murdaugh, hold on! I think Alex Murdaugh is a Gemini, too, which is ruled by Mercury as well, but that doesn't mean anything, okay? It doesn't mean anything. So everyone is innocent until proven guilty. My kids are home. They're screaming for me, of course. Okay, so this is what I have so far. I'll be checking back in. Remember, just entertainment purposes only, guys. Blessed be everyone. I'll be in touch soon to do other charts. Bye-bye. Okay, sorry about the distractions. My kids just got here, and they brought me McDonald's. Anyway, okay, so if we're looking, this is how I'm looking at it, because it's either this. There's an older man that he's emotionally involved with. This older man might be a family man, okay? And he would be older than 30, older than 29. He would, so that rules out Buster right there, okay? So, and this man could, if we're just looking at it as Mars and Mercury give us characteristics about this killer, this older man, older than 29, okay, could have a broken nose, a speech impediment, something up with his nose, something up with his hands, specifically, a speech impediment, an upset stomach, a nervous stomach. So, these are things that the police could be looking at for possible would-be suspects. That they could have a lisp. Okay, and that they might have food allergies, they might have asthma, something along those lines. And there could be an actual broken nose with this older man. So it's either just one man that he's emotionally, sexually involved with, and it's a crime of passion, and, somebody broke up with somebody, because it's a 0 degrees in Mercury, meaning that there's like a text message of a breakup, and that's what started this whole thing. So I'm kind of thinking more so it might be the man that he was having a sexual relationship with. I mean, of course, it could be Alex Murdaugh, and that's the family. And the Mercury is the siblings, the younger kids involved. But I don't think so. There's too much emotions, and there's too much anger. So to me, that's with Mars being there, this is a crime of passion. And it rules out Buster, because Buster is not older than 30 in 2015. Okay? So to me, it's the man that he was having a sexual relationship with. Okay? And if that older man has a broken nose or speech impediment, upset stomach, or bronchial issues like asthma or allergies, then that is your suspect, guys. All right. Blessed be everyone. Remember, this is just for entertainment purposes only, not to be taken as fact. Bye-bye now.